Hey guys, welcome back to the shop for another episode of SNS. Well, we've had a little bit of an eventful week this week. Today especially, I was expecting a box to come in, some viewer appreciation mail that was scheduled to be delivered today, and I waited around for it, never showed up. And I go to check the mailbox, and they had one of those little notifications in there saying that they had no secure place to leave it. So evidently, the mail person didn't want to come in the yard because I had the gate shut and I had Stella outside. I've had Stella for 10 years now, and these mailmen know my dog, but I guess they have a zero tolerance policy against dogs, so they decided not to go in my yard and leave me my package. So I decided to go ahead and drive down there. On the little notification they left me, it said I can pick up my package down at the post office at the address listed. So the post office that it was at wasn't even my local post office, it's one on the other side of town. So I decided to go ahead and drive down there to pick it up so I could put it in this video and show you, because like I said, I was expecting it. And it was just, I mean, since pulling out on the street, it was just a nightmare. I mean, as soon as I pulled out on the highway, there was a traffic jam there. There was a wreck down the road, so everybody was backed up. So I decided to pull off and go through the neighborhood and go around. Well, that was a bad choice. There's a high school back in there that was letting out, so there was another traffic jam. I finally make my way down to the road that this post office is on, and come to find out that right before you get to where the post office is, the road is still washed out from that flood we had a few months ago. I mean, come on, man. It's been, what, 3 or 4 months since we had that flood, and they still haven't fixed that spot on the road that, and right past it is the post office. I mean, you can see the sign down there. So I have to detour back out to a major 4-lane highway in rush hour traffic with no traffic light to cross the street. So I have to work my way all the way back around, come to the post office, finally get in there, wait 30 minutes in line, you know, because you know how post offices are. And the guy goes and checks, well, my box isn't there. He said, well, it looks like they haven't made it back yet. Like, well, that's just fantastic, man. I mean, thanks for letting me know. So I signed the paper for them to deliver it tomorrow, and I told them to please leave it there. So I'll make sure that the gates aren't shut tomorrow and Stella's inside whenever the post office runs. So that was just my little adventure this afternoon, trying to pick up a package so I could show it on the video. So Dwayne, I'm sorry that I didn't get to show your package this week. We'll reveal it next Saturday, okay? But I have another item here that showed up, and we'll show that. And actually, I got 2 things here. I got something to show you. I've also got something to share in response to Tom Lipton. He shared something in one of his videos recently, so I decided to go ahead and pull one of mine out, and I'll show you mine, Tom. We got a little bit of machine work this week, not a whole lot, but we do some tramming on the mill after the fail that we had a couple weeks ago. We do some tramming, and then I had another job to get a broken bolt out of something. So turned out pretty good. Got it all on film, and we're going to share that. Okay. And so another thing I'll point out is the volume might sound a little different now because I'm using the mic that was sent to me a while back. I believe it was Emil from Canada had sent me this mic right here, this Rode video mic, and I've tested it out a couple times. That's what it looks like right there. I tested it a couple times and I kept getting static sounding in the video. And every time I tried, I was getting a little bit of static, so that's why I haven't ever used it. So it's been sitting up here on my shelf. I decided to go ahead and try it again and see how this is going to work out. So if you're viewing this, hopefully this I've got the mic. I've actually got it hanging right here on my fan using my clip mount. So we'll this will be the first video that I'm using the mic there, and see if that helps the sound quality a little bit. But if it does work, I've got to make another mount so that it'll attach to the camera here. I've got to make a little mount so it'll actually mount behind the camera and kind of stick above it, and we'll be able to use it that way. That was after I was getting the static in it. It kind of just got put on back burner, and I haven't messed with it. So we'll get to that pretty soon too. So anyway, let's go ahead and check out the viewer mail this week, and we'll get to Tom Lipton's I'll Show You Mine and some machine work afterwards. All right. Okay. All right, Tom. I'm showing you mine. I got some train horns here that's it's been hanging on the wall over here for a long time. I've actually only had like 2 people ever mention these things, ask me about them. I bought these horns from a guy probably back in 2007, I think. That's when I got my big truck. Because my intention was I was going to mount them on the big Dodge, and I never did. So they've just been hanging in the shop. I used to have them hanging out in the old shop. Every now and then, when somebody's curious about them, we'd take them down and blow on them a little bit. And I've got an idea to possibly mount these on the wall in here in the shop one day, and have some kind of solenoid switch on it where you can go by and hit the switch and honk them. But I would like even more to have them on my truck. There's been a lot of times I was ready to blast somebody because of, you know, the idiots out there on the road. But anyway, Tom just showed some horns that he had bought at the flea market, and so that prompted me to pull these down and show you mine. So I'll get my air hose and we'll put a little blast of air in them and see how they sound. All right. These are made by Siege Engineering. Don't know nothing about them and never really pay attention to that, but they're a good sounding horn. I got my new Typhoon. I put the rubber tip. There's a pipe right here. It looks like a 1/4 inch pipe going in, and you can just kind of stick this tip in there and give it a little blast of air. So let's check them out. Hopefully I don't blow my mic here. How you like that? Alright, so there you go. There's my train horns. Maybe we'll have them on the wall one day where we can come in and the guests can come by and blow on them a little bit. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that, especially you, Tom, and even Keith Rucker there. He probably appreciate these. I just checked that clip to see what they sounded like. I don't know if it's the mic or just how loud it is. They really, in the video, you can't tell how loud these things are. It's really loud. I mean, it kind of rattles your ears whenever you blow them. I want to try it one more time from down there at that end of the shop to see if it sounds any different on camera, just for fun, because it does really seem to mute it out on the video. Try it the other way. Making this ear rattle. Okay, enough playing around. Let's get to some viewer mail. Okay, this package that we got this week comes to us from David Adams, and he's from Owingsville, Kentucky. And what he had sent me is some carbide inserts here. And we've got some TNMG 544s. Package of 10. There's the package there of all the inserts. These are some big boys right here, man. Alright, so we got those, and then we've also got another small package that says Anytime Tools 3/8 insert for indexable lathe bit. That's those little triangle one-sided inserts, kind of look like a little TNMG. I don't remember if I have any inserts tools this size, David. I've got a small boring bar that I think these will go on, so I'm going to dig that out and try it and see if they'll fit. I also do not have any tool holders, I don't think, that hold this size insert. I'll have to dig. I recall seeing a holder, like a homemade style holder, that took a big old triangle insert like this, and I want to say that's maybe with the boring mill stuff at work, and that I got a big crate down there with extra tools and stuff for it. But as far as the tooling I use on the lathe here, I don't have anything here in the shop that this will accept. And so in his note, you know, he says these are some inserts that he acquired, and if you cannot use them, please pass them along to someone who can. And I really enjoy your videos and keep up the good work. David Adams. So thank you, David. I will say that if somebody's watching and they could use these big TNMG 544s, let me know and we'll work out a trade. These are some great inserts, and I would rather, if somebody can use these, put them to work, then you know, let me know and we'll get them out to you. But I really appreciate it. David, I'm going to check on these. I think I got a little small tiny boring bar that I can use these inserts on. So I appreciate it. Thank you for thinking about me, and we'll see what we can do with them. All right. I got one more thing here to show you, and this is some more viewer appreciation mail, but this is something that my wife bought me. She went shopping last weekend and seen this and thought about me, so she picked it up for me. Another sign I can hang on the wall. My tool rules. Do not touch them, borrow them, move them, look at them. Don't even think about it. So I love it, man. I'm gonna find a spot on the wall up here to hang this. So thank you, Elena, for thinking about me when you were shopping. And we'll throw it up on the wall somewhere. Maybe the guys coming in there eyeballing my stuff will think twice about sticking their hands over there in the toolbox. Alright guys, I'm over here on the DoAll milling machine, and the last job that I did on this was whenever I was machining the notches in the OD of that lock nut. And a couple of guys made a great point. They said, did you check the tram of the mill? And no, I did not, but I was planning on it whenever I got through with that before I started my next job. I figured it probably threw it out a little bit. I don't know how much, because I haven't even checked it yet. But that job that I was doing, I wasn't concerned if it was at a little bit of an angle or not. But it did go through some pretty gnarly beating and banging, so it might have thrown it out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing trammed in. I thought I would share it with you, and let's get started on it. So I'm going to use my small Noga holder, and I've got my regular dial indicator on here, the ones that you normally see me use. And what I might do is once we get it checked to see how far out it is, if it's really close, we might try a different indicator that'll give me a little closer reading on it. So we'll start with this. I've got everything snugged up tight, and the first way that I'm going to check this is I'm going to use basically like the x-axis. I'm going to go from one side to the other. I'm going to check that, and we'll get that checked and trammed in, and then we'll check front to back there, and then we'll go back and double check and make sure that we haven't moved anything. And this can be a pretty tricky process sometimes, because it does not take much movement on these worm gears to move this thing a lot on an indicator. So, all right, I'm going to, since I'm right over here, I'm going to get up and move around with it, but I think I'll start with, I'm going to go ahead and set a 0 on this side here. And I'm just going to clock the bezel, come up, and we'll be at like a 9 o'clock position here. Okay, that's 0 there. It's actually, it's still a little too much. Reset it. I just want it where it barely comes up and touches. Okay, we got a 0 on the bottom, so let me make sure you guys are going to see this. Alright, got a 0. Alright, I can already see a little movement here. Let's come on around and see what we get. Oh yeah. Okay, it looks like we've got about 9 thousandths, somewhere between 9 and 10 thousandths. That it's reading high on this side here, so we do have a little bit of tilt. I'm about 1 or 2 tenths on the plus side of 0 here, so I'm just going to say for now we've got between 9 and 10 thousandths that we've got to adjust it. So let me bring it around here to this side so you can see the indicator. And I'm going to get my wrench ready, and we'll start making some adjustments on this thing. Okay, we're going to use a 3/4 wrench, and just show you, I've got the 4 bolts here that I've got to loosen, and this will be the worm gear here that I have to rotate. That'll change the direction of the head here. Okay, on the back, if we've got to change the nod, we'll have to loosen these 3 bolts, and then it will be, see, there's the gear here. We'll have to move that screw. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen these 4, and we may see a little bit of movement on the indicator, but I'm just going to loosen them up and make sure they're not too tight, and I don't want them super loose either. I'll loosen one and then just kind of just snug it back up. So, yep, we got some movement there. And now the tricky thing is I can never remember which way to move that screw. So if you go past it, it's okay. You can kind of sneak back up to it. You got to play with the backlash and get the backlash out and try not to move it too far. So I'm going to put my wrench up here and just move it. Let's see. Move it one way and see if I'm going the right way. No, that's the wrong way. So, all right, got to take the backlash out. Quite a bit in it. Okay, all right, now we're starting to bring it around. So you don't want to really go too far. You're going to be chasing yourself back and forth each direction. So I like to start a little bit at a time, and I'm just going to go ahead and check my measurement again here. This is about where we started at. I want to see if it's changed. Okay, we're about right back at where we started. Okay, all right, so we're +6. All right, I'm +4, so I got 2 more thousandths to move it, or 1 thousandths per side. And just to verify that, I'll show you. +4. All right, bring it back around. I'm going to try to take it to 5. Okay, it's +5. I'm telling you, it doesn't take much on that wrench to make that thing move. All right, I'm going to bring it around and see if I'm 5 on this side. +5. So we're looking good this direction. What I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to snug these 4 bolts up a little bit more, all 4 of them. Okay, now let's check it again and see if I moved it. It's still on +5. Looks like we're about 4.5. So I may have moved it about a half a thou right there. And you know, we could be getting a little bit of flex and movement in the whole indicating system here too. That's really close. I think I'm within a half a thousand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave that where it's at. We're pretty close. I know I'm within a half a thousandths. Maybe we'll verify that with another indicator here. So let me, what I want to do is go ahead and check it front to back now. I've got to reposition the indicator, and we'll check that direction. All right, let's go ahead and get started on it. I'm just going to drop it down just to kind of bring it off. And what I want to do is kind of center it. I'm going to move the indicator. All right, I'm on that edge. A little bit over on that edge. I'm going to take it back that way. Okay, that's pretty close there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this one set. Looks like that'll work there. And go ahead and bring the knee up till I read 0. Okay, we've got a 0 reading there. I'm going to go ahead and start sweeping it. Where's my mirror when I need it? Looks like we're showing off just a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 thousandths. I tell you what I need. I'm gonna go, I can't find my shop mirror. It's buried somewhere. I think I'm gonna go steal one of my wife's mirrors. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I found the mirror. I found my wife's bedazzled mirror here. She's got some jewels on it and some stickers of some cocktail drinks. But it'll work. Try to get it where we can see the indicator a little easier like this. I think you can see it on the front side too. Let's give it a shot. So I've still got it set on 0 here. Let's come around the back side and see if we can see it. Oh yeah, it's much easier. Okay, so that's not too bad there. We are on the plus side, right? Yep. Nope. Minus. Minus 1.5 thousandths. So this is the high side here. Okay, let me go ahead and bust these things loose real quick, and we'll probably see it move a little when I do. Get on the bolt back here. Okay, so we're minus a half thousandths now. Let me reset our 0 and check it. All right, so we're 0. Minus 1. I still get confused on what side it's on that side there, but the indicator says minus, so minus 1, so we don't have far to move at all. I mean, that's the closest. Really not even worth trying to do that, but I'm going to attempt it anyway. And we'll probably move it too far. Okay, back on 0. Now we're showing about a half thousandths minus. One thousandths minus. Still about a half off. Not too bad. I'm afraid to even move it. It's going to go too far. Okay. I'm going to reset 0. Okay, 0. Look at that, man. Little bit of flex with the indicator, but that's showing 0 there. And I'm on 0 there. Okay, I'm going to snug these up and see if it'll stay there. But it's looking good, front to back. Okay, check again. Let's see. Okay, 0. It's right at it. We're a few tenths off. That's not bad. I believe I'm just going to leave it where it's at. It's pretty tough getting it dead nuts, but it can be done. But I'm happy with where it's at, that direction. So we're going to leave that alone. The nod. Give it one last check here. Okay, it's consistent. I'm going to say about 2 to 3 tenths off, maybe. How's that for a shot, huh? You see yourself in the mirror. All right, let's check it again this way. I think I'm close. I've got my 0 set here. And it's on 0. Just a fudge to the plus side. I'm happy with that. Again, maybe a couple tenths off, but I'm happy with it. I think it'll work fine. So I'm going to go ahead and check the torque on these bolts again. See if it'll maintain its position as I tighten them. Looks pretty good, guys. All right, we're going to call this one done. There's my proof that I trammed in the mill after the little crash. Got another project to do. And as you can see, we've got a rifle clamped up in the mill vise here. And first off, let me just say, I don't have this very tight. I mean, I've come up and held it just enough to hold it without it trying to move. And I've also got a jack underneath the barrel here, and then I came down and just barely came down to hold that. This is basically just to kind of keep it from moving up or down, because I've got it kind of sitting on the stock here. So I'll tell you that gunsmithing is not anything, it's not something that I do. I don't like working on guns. I don't have any interest in it. This belongs to a friend of mine, and the problem is he was going to mount a different scope on this. He was giving this to his daughter for hunting season, and you got 3 of the bolts that come out, and you got this one right here, this last bolt right in here that will not come out, and it's a Torx head bolt, and it's stripped out, so you can stick a wrench in there and turn it and it won't move. And it's ridiculous that a small screw like that, it was tightened down so tight that it won't even come out of there. But he told me that there was actually a recall on this rifle because of that problem. So he asked me would I be able to get the bolt out. So I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can get it out. I did come across a few left-hand drills not too long ago. I've got a couple of them. I've got a 16th and a 1/8 right here. So I've got centered up on the counter bore. That counter bore measures 218. I used a 3/16 end mill and came down with the collet and just tried to eyeball the center of this counter bore as close as I could by sight. And I feel like I'm probably within about at least 5 thousandths of being in the center. So I think what I want to do is try this 1/8 left-hand drill first and see if I can come down and grab it and make that thing bust loose and come out of there. If it doesn't come out, it's going to continue to drill, and what I should be able to do is drill it to where the shank, the threads, and the head of the bolt meet, and this head will come off, and then the sight piece will actually come off of there and leave the threads in the hole. Another problem I run into, I couldn't figure out what size the threads is, and as I said, I don't work on this stuff, so I don't know what common hardware sizing is for guns and rifling and that kind of stuff. Closest thing that I could find was a number 540, but I knew it wasn't right because it wasn't fitting the threads right. So I contacted him and asked him, is there any way you could tell me what size the screw is that goes in there? He checked it. I think he looked it up or something, but he checked and he told me it's a 548 thread is what this is. I looked through all of my taps. I've got a bin with a bunch of small taps. I got that bag that James Green sent me. I found some 540s, but I didn't find any 548. So I don't have a tap for this. So I'm hoping that I can get it out. If I have to drill it out, I'm going to have to go ahead and probably I might have to buy a tap. I don't know yet. We're just going to find out. So let's go ahead and give it a try, see what we can do. I'm going to start with the 1/8 left-hand drill. And you got to, well, that didn't go good. You got to remember to turn the spindle in the opposite direction, which would be that way. Okay. Let me get you in a little closer. Maybe we'll have a little better shot of this on video. Yep, see, it's pretty tough. Hey, look at that. Oh my God, it worked. You gotta love a left-handed drill bit. I gotta get a picture of that right there. Okay, I had to snap me a picture with my phone. All right. I can see one problem. The very bottom of the screw is galded, like it was jammed into the bottom of the hole there. And that must be why it's too tight. Look at that, man. That was it. It took a lot longer to set the thing up than it did to drill that bolt out. So, my left-hand drill was successful. It did dull it some, but that's okay. We'll touch it up and use it again later. Just want to try to pull you in for one more shot of this screw here. Right there on the end of the bolt, look, we got some magnetism here. Right on the end, the first thread or two is galded. So what it looks like to me is that this screw is just that much too long, or they didn't tap the hole in the barrel deep enough, and when they tightened it up, those threads galded together at the bottom, and that's why this thing wouldn't come out. You see the end where the left-hand drill went down in and did its job. It grabbed it and unscrewed it perfectly. So the threads in the barrel appear to be pretty good. I do wish I had a tap to run down through there in case that galded spot right there messed anything up, but I don't have a tap, so I'm going to leave that up to him and see if he wants to buy a tap. Tap that size probably is pretty cheap. But anyway, this project's done.
Wearing the orange.
Wearing her Auburn shirt today.
Yes, I got recruited.
Okay.
So I have to go H to T in all Auburn. I even have a purse.
I see that. You even got it in your hair.
That's custom made Auburn bow. Custom. It's, what is it? Wear your favorite team shirts at work today.
You even got earrings. Look
yeah.
at
The earrings.
I love Auburn earrings.
T-shirt the whole night. I was coming to say hello. What you're up to?
Yeah, I'm out here making S&S, putting a video together for the guys for tomorrow. Letting them know about my horrific drive to the post office.
Who would usually have to go to the post office?
Oh, Lena, do you mind going to pick up my package on your way home from work?
And then I'd have to deal with it. So I'm glad you went.
The one time that I went
I
turned
know.
out to be a nightmare.
You experienced a day in my life. It sucks.
Yeah,
Just like going to the bank.
yeah, that sucks even more.
Alright, just wanted to say hi.
Okay, I'm sure the guys appreciate seeing you again.
Didn't you just have me in the last video ice bucketing?
I did. They all loved it too.
I don't appreciate
They
that.
were laughing their ass off at you.
Adam! It was pretty funny.
It was.
Whose idea was it to hold the GoPro?
It was Lana's idea.
My idea. And everybody freaking loved it, and everybody had to do it after that, obviously.
Well, I'm glad I brought both cameras. But it was her idea to hold it while she was getting dunked.
I
So,
want to get that other view. The view that the normal people don't usually see. Alright, I'm going to go outside.
okay, well, I'm going to finish making the video here.
Happy S&S.
Hope it goes good.
It'll be great. It's really exciting stuff I see here on the screen. It's very exciting.
Thank you for the support.
You're welcome, baby.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.
Peace out.